I mean, we all miss CM Punk. I miss my great friend Phil. CM Punk, one of the best wrestlers in the world, one of the best performers out there. And we, the fans, we deserve to have CM Punk in the ring doing magic again.
What up, everyone? Shak here for Cageside Seats, and you know who this is. He's won world titles just about every place he stepped foot in, from the WWE to Triplemania. It is, of course, Alberto El Patron, formerly known as Alberto Del Rio. How are you, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm in Mexico City at the moment. I'm doing a media tour. And of course, you, amigo, you're part of that media tour for today.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So what sort of sparked this media tour in Mexico?
Well, we're promoting the next week event. We're going to be presenting Hecho in Mexico, just as we did in Hidalgo, McAllen, Texas, 2 or 3 weeks ago. And we're going to be doing the same, but here in my country, for my countrymen next week on Thursday.
Okay. Now, normally I like to start these off with something fun, a bit of an icebreaker, but there are some more serious subjects I do need to ask you about, and I wouldn't want to be insincere. So if it's possible, I'd love to talk about those first, and then we can have a little more fun on the back end. Is that okay?
Of course, yes.
Of course. So last I heard, there's obviously this trial going on in San Antonio, Texas. You were charged with aggravated kidnapping and sexual assault, anywhere from 5 years to life in prison. It's been delayed a number of times. The trial was supposed to start on August 2nd. Did it indeed start?
Well, this is the thing. It's still going. It's still pending. But we're just waiting. Everything is looking good. I have said what I needed to say in the past, and unfortunately, I cannot longer talk about it because every time I say something, it affects my case. I went out and I said what I was approved to say, and that ended up hurting me a little bit. All I can say is that the truth always comes to light. We're doing good. The authorities in Texas are doing their job. And I trust in the law in the United States of America, especially in the great state of Texas, which is where I live. They're doing a fantastic job, and my legal team is doing a fantastic job. It's just a matter of time. It's really difficult for me and my family to hear those things because this is just. Everybody talks about that 5 years life in prison, so that sounds horrible. But why nobody says, or he's gonna be proven innocent? I have already said it. She has already withdrawn the charges. She has already talked to the DA's office and told them the truth, apologized, and she offered us or gave us a public apology and everything. I think everything people needs to know. Everything. Sorry, are you? Hello?
No, that's okay.
Everything people needs to know is out there. I know. I shared a lot of stuff in the past, but unfortunately, I cannot talk about it.
No, and I understand.
Because what was supposed to be over last week, it got delayed because somebody got upset, and I understand. This is me being me, a high-profile case. It's difficult, and as I said in my previous interviews, call me whatever, but I didn't do any of those things.
Yeah, and that's why I do think it's important to, when I come with you for this, we're looking for facts, right? So I'm not looking to play either side of the field. So I just want to clarify 2 things, and then we can move on from it. Has the trial begun, or has it been delayed?
We actually have to move on from that because I shared it. I thought it was fine, but for some people, I shared too much, and it ended up affecting me. And I've had already people trying to affect me just because they were doing something wrong, and I also talked about it too. and everybody knows which other person I'm talking about. And I'm no longer, as I said before, talking about that other person anymore. I put it out there. I shared to the world why I didn't do or say anything about that person in the past, and I have already told everybody that the only one arrested for domestic violence and with police reports was that other person. So I moved on, and as I said in my last interview, I said no more. That those incidents have affected my life in a horrible way already. I just tell people, please be patient, and when the time is right, and it doesn't affect me, we will share everything with everybody.
Okay.
Yes.
This will be the last for that, and I ask only because like you said, I want to make sure the information is clear, and people aren't getting confused. There's just one question I'm confused about. You said that your partner has dropped the charges, but there's still this case going on. So has she dropped the charges or not?
She has, but if people out there still questioning this, really want to know is they need to do their job, especially if they're serious media outlets. It doesn't matter when it comes to cases like that, and especially with the women's movement and all and everything going on when it comes to family law. It doesn't matter if I drop the charges, if she drops the charges. The state follows it, and it doesn't end until the state says that it's over. It doesn't matter if they have the person or not. It doesn't matter if somebody goes and drops the charges. It's up to the state to decide when this is going to be over. That's why I keep saying,
I see.
To me, I just respect the law in the great state of Texas, but to me, it shouldn't be like that. And again, we really need to stop talking about this. I'm asking you nicely.
Yes.
Because again, it should have been over last week, and it didn't, because for somebody I said too much. So.
Yes, of course. Well, Alberto, and I hope you understand when I ask these questions, I want to make sure that the information is accurate, right?
I really don't understand. I really don't, because I have already talked about this, and in previous occasions I've said, this is what happened, this is what's going on, and you heard it, or if you didn't, somebody probably shared this information with you about me saying she dropped the charges, and she posted a public apology and talked to the DA's office. But
okay, well, let's move on from it. And Alberto, I thank you for taking the time and answering those questions. So let's start working our way out of that and end this on some more fun stuff, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
So, did you see the Kenny Omega Andrade El Idolo match at all?
I did not. I know the match happened. And but everybody that knows me knows that I don't watch any wrestling. Not even when I was in WWE, I would work and do my job, and I will get I will get what I needed to get from the major executives in the company, and I will go home and be a daddy, and I will enjoy my day and a half at home before going back on the road. But knowing who Kenny Omega is and who Andrade is, I'm pretty sure it was an amazing match off the hook, and especially with that cherry on top, having Ric Flair at the end of the match.
Chef's kiss. And I totally support that. I'm all for work-life separation as much as possible. And I bring up Kenny Omega Andrade just because it's part of this really exciting change in the pro wrestling landscape, where you're seeing all these big pro wrestlers appear on different shows. Christian Cage, now the Impact champion. Andrade fighting for the AAA title. For you, as you start looking to work your way back into the fold with these big companies, how exciting is it for you to see all these different opportunities emerging for
No,
Alberto?
it's fantastic. I mean, I wish we could have more companies with TV deals and presenting the wrestling fans different products. I think it's amazing that now the wrestlers have another um, premier company out there, and and not just having that one company that was ruling the world, WWE. Now the fans, the wrestlers, they have another place to showcase their talent.
For sure. I think when I think to great Mexican legends of the past, you think El Santo, Mil Mascaras, of course, Dos Caras. But now you're starting to see more champions in Mexican promotions emerge who don't wear masks. Yourself, Andrade, Kenny Omega, or guys in the fold. As someone in yourself who has experienced both life behind the luchador's mask and life without it, in modern pro wrestling, Mexico and beyond, do you think wearing the mask overall helps or hurts a wrestler who's trying to reach the very highest level?
It depends. It's just the business is different in the states than what it is here down in Mexico. Here in Mexico, the mask is everything. Yes, you have some wrestlers like Perro Aguayo, Sangre Chicana, Alberto El Patron doing great things without a mask. But, for us here, the flavor is when you wear the mask. That's the most important match in the world for Mexicans, when you put your mask on the line, and if you lose, you have to rebuild your identity and your name, your real name to the audience, which these days with the internet, it's out there. Everybody knows the names of the luchadors with masks and stuff. But for Mexicans, it's still the biggest thing on earth.
Yeah. And I'm glad to see that tradition has survived. You were supposed to wrestle Edge for the world title. Of course, he had his career-ending injury. What has it been like to hear about his return and see that someone who you were right there with at the end has been able to make such a big, healthy comeback for himself?
Oh, that's fantastic. He's a fantastic performer, a fantastic guy, a fantastic human being. So I'm glad that he's back in the business, because he is someone like me who grew up in love with wrestling. Someone that was a fan before becoming a competitor. So for him to need to be back and be in his fantastic.
Wonderful. And just a couple more before you wrap up here. Just want to get your thoughts on one more wrestler. There's rumors that CM Punk is inbound on AEW, another man you've shared really big matches with. For you as a businessman and wrestler, what does it tell you when you see a guy as big as CM Punk, who left the business for quite a while, now seemingly ready to get back into the mix?
Oh, I hope he does it. I mean, we all miss CM Punk. I miss my great friend Phil. CM Punk, one of the best wrestlers in the world, one of the best performers out there. And we, the fans, we deserve to have CM Punk in the ring doing magic again. And the companies, they deserve to have someone like him, a big draw, someone that will bring something different, someone that always thinks outside the box.
And last thing, one of the newer television shows about pro wrestling, there's a ton of them now that have premiered, is Young Rock, story about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's life growing up. But he's not the only one from a wrestling family. If we were to do a young Alberto series, can you tell me some of your favorite childhood stories of growing up with Mil Mascaras and Dos Caras around?
Well, I have so many. I was always going with my dad on the road. Sometimes he didn't want to take me because I had to go to school the next day. So I would go and hide in the trunk for an hour, 2 hours, and my dad will find me after parking the car outside the arena, he will open the trunk and find me there. He'll be like, oh my God, there's nothing that can stop you, right? You just want to continue watching wrestling. And I remember myself saying at the age of 5, 6 years old, yes, Daddy, when you gonna get it? When you gonna understand that I'm gonna be a luchador one day? I grew up with my dad. I have breathe and sleep and eat wrestling since I remember. And it was always following my idol, my dad, my uncle Mil Mascaras. He was an inspiration for me and for so many others, but he had nothing to do in my training and he never helped me. He never opened any doors for me. And but my dad did. My dad has and will always be my idol.
I love it. Alberto, I think that's a beautiful place to leave it on. First and foremost, I want to thank you for being willing to, answer to some of my tougher questions. I hope that, the truth can come out and that you and all the parties involved can move on and begin the healing process. And of course, please enjoy the media tour you're doing off in Mexico. And I'm excited to see what's coming next from Alberto El Patron.
Thank you, amigo. Thank you. And no, there's no difficult questions for me.